this Reuben, Gad, verse 1, and half the tribe of Manasseh, they liked where they were grazing. They had their sheep and their oxen, their livestock on the west side, and they ain't really feel like going over to Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've come so far, we ain't really into all that wildlife stuff, you know. Yeah, we get it right. Got our inheritance. Like some of us. I'm speaking in tongues, I'm prophesying, I'm doing okay. We got a better house, cars, job, everything copacetic. That's what they were saying. Right? So you can see that all the way from verse 1 to 9. Then all of a sudden in 10 it said, and the Lord's anger was kindled. The same time he swore, said, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20. So you look, well, no, verse 13. The Lord, is that right? Yeah, the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel. So he gives a whole bunch of backdrop of how he's upset with this decision making. And then all of a sudden, Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh came up and said, and they came near unto him and said, we build sheepfolds here, our cattle, cities, and our little ones, but we ourselves will go ready, armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them unto their place, and our little ones should dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants. We will not return unto our house until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, at verse, matter of fact, go to 6. And Moses said to the children of God and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and you should sit here? And wherefore discourage you the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord has given them? And thus did your fathers when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land, because some of their fathers, those connected to Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, every tribe had to be represented. When they went up into the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they would discourage the heart of the children of Israel. So he basically saying, look, I had 10 knuckleheads that went over to see the land. 2 of them had the right report, Joshua and Caleb. But the rest of the rascals, when their report came back, they took away the zeal because they seen the giants. That's what he's paraphrasing. This is my paraphrase, right? And the Lord's anger was kindled the same time. He swore, saying, surely none of the men, none of the 10 that came up out of Egypt for 20 years old and upward should see the land which I swore to Abraham. So that's when he said, you know what? Because of their report, those that 20 and under should not get in, because they have not followed me wholly. Except who? Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua, the son of Nun. For they have followed the Lord wholly. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel. Right? And it says, and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 until all the generation that did evil was consumed. And behold, you are risen up in your father's stead. Now he's saying this is the new generation and the increase of sinful men to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord. So you repeated the same sins. Come on, y'all. He gave a history lesson. That's how God works. When God's getting ready to transition you, he always go back to the original print. Yes, yes. And he has his point of reference. If you know anything about God, that's what he does. He takes you to the Bible. So he gave him a crash course on how not to act. Yes. He said, had 10 of y'all that went over with the wrong report. He said, now you're doing the same thing. Yeah. He said, behold, they're rising up among your father's stead, and the increase of some men to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord toward Israel. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again lead them in the wilderness and destroy all his people. So he basically tells them, because you have gotten a point of success, you have received your portion, he's saying it's going to affect everybody. Right. Yeah. Y'all heard? Is y'all stubborn? Yeah, that's what he's saying. He said, I'm going to destroy all these people. So that's why it's not enough for me to know what I know in scriptures. Because he wants to bring us collectively whole as one. Right? And they came there to him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our cattle, cities for our little ones. We ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them into their place. Our little ones should dwell in. So all of a sudden they said, you know what? My bag, bad idea. We're going to go with you. We're going to go across. We will not return to our house until the children of Israel have inherited their inheritance, right? We will not inherit with them on yonder side, Jordan, or forward, because our inheritance is fallen upon us on the other side, eastward. Moses said to them, if you will do this thing, if you will go armed before the Lord to war, and will go all of you armed over Jordan before the Lord until he has driven out his enemy before him, and the land be subdued before the Lord, and afterward you shall return and be guiltless before the Lord. Right? I know you got sheepfold, I know you got cattle in the city, and you got babies, little ones. He said, and this land should be your possession before the Lord. But, if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out. Did y'all catch that? So he basically go on to verse 24 to 27, and they talk about going over iron. So this is what I'm saying in a nutshell. It's not enough for me to have a personal experience. He basically told them, your intention has to be for us all. And after you go fight with us, as our battle begins to be the same, then once the dust settles, you can go to your inheritance. But you can't enjoy your inheritance. Oh, I'm hitting something because I know some of y'all mad. Because I don't know why we got this thing, we got this rank in our head that we can do what we want with our personal freedom. I don't know where that came from. Well, tradition in church. That's where it came out. When you churchy, you ain't in the kingdom. Because kingdom understand wholeness, oneness. Church people, they still got control of their life. They make decisions that's meaningful for themselves. Bump anybody else, especially pastor. Bump anybody. What he's trying to tell us collectively, I'm still going to do what I want individually. So I'll make light of anything that expresses corporateness for my own personal pleasures. I know. This is messed you up, but I'm just being honest. Because if we don't follow God all the way through, if we don't be seasoned by the hand of God, if we're not walking in measures of obedience to God, when it comes to restoration and healing for one another, we're not qualified. And then we get it prematurely. And then, God forbids. I read a book, How to Get the Right People on the Bus by Jim Collins some time ago. He made a statement. He said 3 things you got to do. You got to get the right person on the right bus or the right seat. Remember that one? Yeah. Sometimes what happens, you have the right person in the wrong seat or the wrong person in the right seat. Boy, that'll preach. So I got to get the right person in the right seat. And if I get the right person in the right seat, I got to determine when that right person is now in the right seat is in the wrong seat. Therefore, let me hearken hard and long. Your love for your seat or your place has hindered us greatly. Because you're not transitional enough. You're not adaptable enough. You're not available enough. So we wearing certain people out in the spirit realm. So when something get on the table, like bless her soul, Loretta, something get on the table, we had her doing 10 things. And we had more than 10 people. You can't keep going down the list of that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Some more than you say, you know what? I'm going to take a shot. Let me get over there. You don't need me to take your hands. Look, which one you want? Come on, we need you at 6. That's the stuff I have to wrestle with as a leader. When God wants to equip us all for service so that there will be no lack among us. That is what grace will do for us as a body. When every part understands its function. Something I had in my notes that I didn't mention, and which I will down the line and break it real down for you so you can really hit you in the head. Fit, function, and flow. Every member has to